nobody can look at you from the outside and know what's going on the inside. And so to me, that has a lot to do with that component of self-regulation, because I have no idea what you're feeling. I can offer you some asana or some yoga pose, and it may just not be the right thing for you. So that self-regulation component is huge.
What I love about what you're saying is that if you're really in your body in that way, it's a living experience rather than so you're learning about yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how we start to know ourselves. And
Yep.
I think that the underlying deeper way that yoga is about how do I get to know myself? How do I really yoke with my own experience, the divinity that is me, right? And if I just listen to someone else and I try as hard as I possibly can to do those techniques without myself having any say in the matter, then what happens is there's authority and then there's me.
Mm-hmm.
So we start to take the authority back. It's not that we can't have really good people offering us really good information about how to move the body. I mean, we're two people who do that, right?
Yep.
But the how we do it and what we offer and what kind of space we offer people in a classroom is really what Soma Yoga is all about.
Right. And then Soma Yoga Teacher Training becomes how we're teaching other instructors to offer things in a similar way, so that it's not a dictatorship, right? Where it's put your arm here, put your leg here. It's more, try this, see how it feels in your body. And if something isn't feeling right, now how could you make some little adjustment so that it starts to feel a little bit more integrated into your own body and more comfortable. And I love that.
Right. Because, honestly, what you said earlier is so key about I don't know what you're feeling. And
Mm-hmm.
also, so many people come into the yoga classroom as a teacher, and we don't really know where they're coming from in their day, in their week, in their year, in their lifetime, right? So
Mm-hmm.
their body is their experience up to that moment.
Yep.
If we're just really having this expectation that everyone in the room is going to follow a set of rules or movements or postures, that's not necessarily taking into account the experience of the person,
Right. Right.
you
It's
know.
just a matter of leaving a little bit of space. So it's not that you're not still offering a yoga practice or guiding a yoga practice. It's making sure that every now and then you're leaving this open space so that people can find their own way within that kind of set of instructions or shapes or whatever it is that you've just put out there. And leaving me, I think a huge piece of this is really emphasizing over and over again, because I think people are so used to being told what to do and how to do it. It's emphasizing over and over again that sometimes you just need to leave a little bit of space. Like, okay, we're going to be in this posture for a little bit. How can you make it your own? How can you make it so that it feels really good in your body? What little tiny movement or what big adjustment do you need to change the angle of your foot? Do you need to bend your knee a little bit more? Do you need to shift your hips a tiny bit? And I think that making all of that okay starts to, like you were saying, kind of re-empower the individual to kind of take their own practice back.
And I think that that's really important in a teacher training. What you're saying is actually a teaching in and of itself, and that's what we're going to break down in our training program is how do we start to create an environment where people are really learning about themselves within the structure of a group.
Yes.
Many times when group fitness or exercise or body movement is taught, everybody is moving the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how do we create an environment where it's really okay if you're going to take something from what we're offering and peel it off into your own personal experience for a little while?
Mm-hmm.
It's really okay if you do something different than what I'm teaching because you know your body and you know that at this point, let's say in a posture or a class, you need to do something else because that's going to really suit the nourishment of this beautiful thing we call a body, right? Because we want to come out of a yoga class, and I want all the teachers that we train to have this ability that you come out of a yoga class and you've learned something. It's not just an experience.
Mm-hmm.
So the difference is when you're led around, it's not necessarily good or bad. It's and, right? It's not an
Mm-hmm.
either or, it's an and. So you have a class where you're led around and you do this and you do that and you do this and you do that and you do this and you do this and you're just kind of following along. By the end, you've had an experience,
Mm-hmm.
right? Good, bad, or indifferent. It was an experience. You can check it off your list. I did my yoga class,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go on, right? Whereas in Soma Yoga, you're going to leave the class really learning something, not only about yourself, but about your body, about the body,
Mm-hmm.
about different types of bodies, about the capacity to move in a way that feels right to your now moment. Our anatomist in the teacher training, Robert Littman, he's going to take you through an exquisite experience of the living expression of anatomy rather than just, I mean, you are going to look at images,
Mm-hmm.
but there is going to be a way that you're going to learn about your body that's going to be a living process. And
Right.
then we take that anatomical living process into the teacher training and how we move and breathe and meditate and function as
Mm-hmm.
humans on this beautiful planet that we live on.